A 500 space rural storage facility in our backyard is what a new landowner just north of our neighborhood wants to build on his 35-acre plot. The owner lives about 15 minutes northwest of us in a different town, but he wants to build a storage facility on his 35-acre plot with 500 spaces for RVs, boats, with 50 20-foot light posts, 3 drainage ponds, and a chain-link barbed wire fence. It's going to be about 15 feet long and 300 feet wide. And my neighbor Mark, who you may have seen riding on his bike in a previous video, lives on about 7 acres of land just up the road from me, and his land is in direct contact with that plot where this proposed project is going to be located. And his main issues with this include light pollution, dangerous driving conditions on a 50-mile-an-hour road, lack of effective landscape buffering, increased drainage downstream to the north and south, no economic benefit to the neighborhood, an out-of-place view from the south, meaning that it just doesn't fit the neighborhood, the rural setting, seeing lights towering out of the ground. Negative impact on property values, and something I added was that it could be a crime magnet. And I understand entrepreneurialism, and I respect it, and I encourage it. And the owner is taking advantage of the EDZ, which means Economic Development Zone, which allows for agricultural land to be used as commercial land without going through the rezoning process. But a review is being done with the County Board of Commissioners, and that review is that started yesterday with public comment, just in case anyone in the neighborhood has any complaints or concerns. They can negotiate with the owner to make sure that any of his developments don't encroach on the quality of life. The light pollution is a big one, and the road safety on the highway to the north could be a concern if the speed limit is 50 miles an hour and you have big trucks or pickup trucks with toy haulers and boats turning in to this storage unit. It could back up traffic. It could cause accidents, and traffic is getting busier out here. We are a growing county, and so I understand why this guy wants to build out here. But there is, I think, the principle of location. Location matters. And just up the road from us, there's a stretch of road where there's a ton of commercial space. There's a plumbing shop up there. There's a car garage, a school, a firehouse. There's a mobile home retailer up there. And that's the kind of area that would be perfect for a storage unit to be built. Ironically, catty corner from this proposed storage unit is another storage unit that's been there for years, probably 10 years. And I don't think many people have a problem with that one, because although there are storage units and parking spots for toys, RVs, and boats, there are no lights. So the light pollution that my neighbor is concerned with isn't an issue with this older storage place, which is, I think, probably one of the biggest points. People move out to the country to enjoy the stars and just the natural darkness, and this storage unit doesn't really compete with that. So it's kind of easy to let go. But these 20-foot light posts, he wants 50 of them. That's quite a bit of light pollution. And so I can understand my neighbor's concern with that. Another issue, a concern that I had would be, what if the owner wants to build vertically in the future, or sublease portions to someone else in the coming years? or resell it. How tall would those buildings be? 1 story, 2 stories, 3 stories, who knows in the future? And then how does that affect the skyline and the views, for my neighbors, for myself? Can you go to the Board of Adjustment, get some adjustments done? What are the noise restrictions? Like if he wants to do any kind of development that would bring in more, I don't know, more noise. I can't even think of anything right now, but you never know. So these are just things to think about in the future. And it doesn't seem like the county has any real financial incentive to get from this. The commercial assessment, the assessment for commercial properties is 27.9%, and the agricultural assessment is only 26.4%, which this land is zoned right now. The residential tax rate is only 9.8%. So those are significantly higher tax rates, but the land is, half of the land is zoned agricultural and the other half is zoned EDZ, and they're both at a 26.4, so that would only go up to 27.9, so only like 1.5%, so not significantly much. So the county doesn't really have a whole lot to gain incentive wise, and the owner really benefits the most. He can record the income from a storage unit as passive income on a Schedule E for rental and real property, and that's exempt from self-employment taxation. But the neighbors suffer from the light pollution, the noise pollution, and the visual pollution. So that's something we would all have to pay for. So the proposed site is, like I said, it's half of it is on the EDZ and AG2 zone areas. And AG2, Ag2 isn't on residential, but according to the county website, it is for agricultural purposes, and it would be better suited for rural residential development, in the words of the county. So it would be better suited, which I agree with. I think when you take into consideration the rolling hills and the skyline and everything, it just makes more sense to have no major concrete pads filled with RVs and boats, and perhaps buildings, and especially 20-foot light poles towering out of the ground and shining into your neighborhood and into the night sky, and ruining your natural sky at night. So I think that probably not allowing the lighting would be a win for the neighborhood. That's really the only thing that I can see being a big problem. If they had like an on-ramp or off-ramp, some kind of entry lane and exit lane built in, inset into the land off the road, that may quell some concerns there, and take care of, may mitigate the any traffic impediments that my neighbor is concerned with. But what are your guys' opinions on this? Are you guys for progress and rural development with storage facilities or anything like that? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.